Hello, everybody. Welcome to Orlando Cup Drivers Meeting. Thank you for coming. This is a virtual meeting. It's something we're going to try new. Hope it works and you can pay attention, or you can also download the PDF, which is attached next to it, and you can read through what I'm going to be saying. I'm going to explain what I read, what I wrote, so you guys can either read it or watch my video. So, once again, thanks for participating in this race on the events, on the championship, and this is both a local race, and we try to also teach everybody, the new drivers. So that's why this is quite long drivers meeting. Some of you guys have been here with us many times. This is probably random, but anyway, let's go. So let's start with you come in the gate. You have morning practice. Every time we have a morning practice, it's usually about 8 minutes long. What must you always make sure that you have a transponder on your cart. The transponder must be blinking at least 3 times, and the transponder must be mounted vertically in the back of the seat with clear vision to the track. So if you have a lot of weight on your back of your seat, or you have a big fuel pump or a water pump or whatever, make sure that the transponder is vertically, not horizontal, on the seat, and there's nothing that's blocking the view of the transponder. If you can't fit the transponder there, you are allowed to put it on the front left side pod. Right on the bar there on the side pod, you can mount the transponder there. Again, clear view to the track. That way ensures you get a really good reading every time you go by the line. If there's something blocking the view, you could get a misreading, or it could not work sometimes. Very rare, but that's the reason when you have a blocker. So make sure your transponder is blinking at least 2 times, preferably 3 times. Even if you rent it from us or in the Kart Center, make sure we gave your transponders blinking. So after practice, you can go either to speedhive.com or to the app, or look at any of the monitors in the track and make sure that your timing is working. If your timing wasn't working, make sure you go to the scoring tower, which is at the end of the grid, and you speak with the timing person and see what was wrong with your timing. Either your name was not there, or your transponder is wrong, or something could have been wrong. But your obligation, that one of the things in morning practice, make sure that the timing is working. Because if you go to qualifying with an unknown and it doesn't work, it is your problem. It's not Orlando Kart Center problem. So make sure the transponder is working. Before you go to, so the next step will be qualifying. But before you go to qualifying, you must have done your pre-check. Pre-check, you're going to get a form when you registered, and you must fill out the form with your engine number and your chassis number and your tire numbers, and that you checked your card over. And you go to the tech area and you find the tech person, and he will help you to check your cart and make sure your cart is safe to be on the track. So that must be done before you go to qualifying. Then you're going to mount your tire that you mount before qualifying. It could be a new set or it could be a used set bought from us, but it does not have to be a new set. If you want to save some money, we understand. You can use the set from the last race, but the tire you qualify with, the set of tire of 4 tires, that's the set of tire you're going to race all weekend, all day long. So Saturday morning when you go to qualifying, we're going to scan your tires. Those 4 tires, or the 4 tires, you must come for the heat races and for the final. So it's qualifying, heat, and the finals is the same tires you qualified. You may not change unless it goes to a raining condition. Under rain condition, when we declare the track wet, then you must use as many rain tires as you want. You do not have to use one set. It's as many tires as you want. All the cadet carts, which are the mini and the micros, you must use Bridgestones, and everybody else uses the Levanto tires. So again, rain tires are open quantity, but you must use Bridgestones and LeConte depending on your class. And that is, you're gonna get checked before qualifying. Qualifying time comes, you go to the grid, you get your tire scan. We have a green light, a light that is in the top of the grid by the scoring tower. Once that light goes green, your qualifying time begins. So that's when it begins. You may go out at any time. You can go out right then. You can go out with your friends. You can do whatever you want. It's open qualifying for the duration of the qualifying. Sometimes it's 6 minutes, sometimes it's 4 minutes, sometimes 8 minutes. So when you go by the start finish line, you're going to see the checker flag once the 6 minutes is up. When you get the checker flag, that lap is counting. but you cannot start another lap. So you can drive until you see the checker flag. At that moment, you must slow down and coming back the pits, where you're going to go to the scales for the first time, and you must be on weight. The procedure is, when you go to the scales, you go up on the scales with the engine off. You cannot have the engine off. So you stop before the scales and you push your cart on the scales. There's no driving onto the scales. There is a penalty if you drive onto the scales. So you stop before and you push your cart into the scales. If you are on weight, okay, you can ask the weight person your weight and you can tell your mechanic. If you're underweight, you can move your cart forward or backwards. You can ask for a reset. We're going to reset the scale, and then you can do a second time. If a second time you're also underweight, you are disqualified. Even if it's 0.01 pounds, you're disqualified. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, I know it's a rule, it's a rule. So you go to qualify. In qualifying, and only in qualifying, you do not need to bring any tools to tech. We're going to do a tech that does not require tools. So most likely we're going to tech all the carts. It's a quicker tech, but everybody gets tech, and you don't need to bring any tools for the qualifying session. After you're qualifying, you're going to go start the heat races, either heat race or heat races, depending of the schedule. This week we have 2 heat races. So the first heat race, you start exactly how the order of your qualifying. So if you qualify 3rd, you're going to start in 3rd. If you qualify on pole, you're going to start on pole for the first heat race. Then you're going to race that 1 heat race. After the 1 heat race, the way you finish the first heat race is how you start the second heat race. So the second heat race is the result of the first heat race. So if you qualified 1st, but you finish 5th in the heat race, number 1, you start 5th on the second heat race. Then after the heat races are done, you're going to go to the final. How do you start the final? You add the points of the first heat and the second heat. So for instance, the winner of the heat gets 0 points. Second position gets 2 points. Third position is 3 points. Fourth, 4 points. Fifth points. So let's say I win the heat number 1 and I'm 5th in heat number 2. So I have 0 for heat number 1, 5 for heat number 2. I have 5 points. Somebody else hits 2nd on heat number 1, 2nd heat number 2. He's got 4 points. This person, even though he qualified behind me, is going to start ahead of me in the final because he's got less points in the heats. If 2 people are tied after the heat races, the tiebreaker is the qualifying time. So whoever qualified ahead will start ahead in the final. So 2 people have 4 points. One finished 1st and 3rd, and the other 2 seconds. The one that finished 1st in the qualifying or was ahead will start the final ahead of the other person. So that's how we determine the starting position of the final. Something that unfortunately happened some races ago was some fighting and some screaming and some shouting and some cursing. We at Orlando Car Center are a family-oriented facility, and we have 0 tolerance for that kind of stuff, 0. So if you were the aggressor or you did something wrong, you are going to be punished either by having to go home that day, not participate in the next race, maybe 2 days, maybe 6 months, maybe forever, depending of the severity of what you do. And the person that was aggressed, please don't push back. Please don't scream back. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Come to us. You know, I know it's very difficult if your son gets yelled at or something, but let's do the right thing, you guys. Let's calm down immediately because there's a lot of kids there that look up to all of us. So come talk to us. I promise we're going to take the right measure. We're going to speak to everybody and we're going to be calm about it. But let's be civilized and let's have this a fun, family-oriented event and no fighting. I don't have any pleasure in having people escorted out or calling the police like we had the 2 races ago. It's not what we're there for. We're there to go karting and have a fun Saturday and Sunday with the family and with the driver that we look up for and we race with. So let's keep, I know it gets heated up. I done it myself, I'm a racer, but we must calm down and we must use our head at the best when we can. So every time you come to the grid, that's where you're gonna line before you go out the race. Come early, you know, don't come in late because we're gonna check your bumpers, we're gonna check your tires, we're gonna check the width of the rear, we're gonna do some checks there. So don't come running right before time. We're always gonna try to go on time, and we are going to go on time, even if you're not there. So come early, and then once you get checked, you ask the grid person your starting position. He or she will tell you where you start, and you go and you put your car at that position. If for some reason the person ahead of you, let's say you're starting fifth, the person in third never shows up, you do not move up to third. You start in fifth on that race, okay? If we put you in fifth or in fifth, so when you're about to start, don't jump, no, stay on that position. Leave the gate open as if the person was there. You did not qualify third, you qualified fifth. So the person in fourth is supposed to be ahead of you. So you're supposed to be on the next line. So give the position. If we think you're advanced before the start, you're going to be penalized. So if you know that you're not going to come to an event for a heat race or for the final, and you're kind enough to tell us about it, then we're going to regrid everybody and put the person that was fourth to third and you to fourth. Then we can move the whole grid around, but we have to do that before time. We have to print another grid sheet. But when somebody doesn't come, we have to go. That position stays open by rule. We don't move you up. We don't change everybody on the fly. So that's how we do it. Kart numbers. From practice number 1, you must have numbers on all 4 sides of your go-kart. If you don't have numbers on all 4 sides, you're going to be black flagged and you're going to ask to come in to put 4 numbers. That's the only way we can see who you are. And we got to be able to see left, right, front, and rear. So if you're missing a number, it becomes very difficult. And you must have the same number on all 4 sides and the number that you were assigned by Orlando Car Center are giving it to you. So don't make up your own number, because it makes it easier for us to know who you are and everything. Now, the easiest way for us to communicate with you is via a WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is a free app you can download if you don't have it, and you can scan a QR code at the parts department, or we're going to put a link underneath to you. Any changes, anything, we're going to communicate during the race and during the weeks and during prior, everything via this WhatsApp app. It's a very good tool, and you're going to see that we do some polls periodically. So every time you have a question that you want to change something, instead of us changing and affecting everybody, we are going to make a poll, and with the results of the poll, we're going to decide what everybody wanted and then vote towards what the whole group wants, or the majority of the group wants, not just us for whatever reason. If we don't change, we're going to tell you why it wasn't good for us to change. Racing procedures. Okay, what do we allow or we don't allow? We allow you to zig, so you can defend your position. Yes, you can defend your position. But once you defend your position, you must always leave a lane between where you stop moving and the grass. If the person's coming quicker, he can always go between you and the grass. Must be a position. If you go all the way into a complete block, it's called a block. You're going to be penalized. Okay. Once you make that one move, you're good. You cannot go back. So we call it, you can zig, but you can zag. So if you come in the straightaway and you do one move, that's fine. But when you get down the straightaway, you must take the corner from the middle of the track. You cannot open up again and do a proper, open up and apex and everything. So now you're going to have a harder time. So you have to really think, do I really want to defend myself now? Because it's going to allow the person to go on the outside, have a proper one coming at me. So you can do one move, a zig, but not a zag. Now, what you cannot do at any time, you can't look back, see the person coming, and then defend and block. That's called a blocking move. There's no blocking. So if you look back, because you want to look back, you can look back. I'm not saying you can't. You look back, now you can't move. Because if you look back and you move, if you look back and the person is coming and you move, you block. If you look back, the person's way in the back, and you do your move, you're fine. Because you didn't block because he wasn't there yet. He's got enough time to go and go around you. But once again, you look back, you move, that's your move. Now the person can go around the other side. So you can block as long as he's not causing any danger, because they're already committed to passing you. So be careful, and we will black flag you, and we're going to give you a penalty accordingly. So one move, it's okay. 2 moves, not okay. Looking back and blocking, that's the big one. The other big one is jumping the curbs. So there's a white line across the whole track. The curbing is behind the white line already. So if you jump the curb with 4 wheels, that means that your inside wheel is already outside of the track. That's called cutting the track. You're going to be penalized also by 3 seconds. So there's no jump in the curb. You can hit the curb with 1 wheel, that's fine. But you can't jump with the inside wheel and jump the whole curb, because now you have, just like in F1, if you guys are watching, all this out of limits. That's what this is. They finally caught on to it. So we have the pylons now, so you don't do that. But in some corners, we don't. If you do it as an avoidance of an accident, it's okay, because you didn't gain an advantage. You avoided an accident. Congratulations to you. But if you do it to gain an advantage, yes, you'll be penalized accordingly also. So no jumping the track, please. I already said it, come early to grid. Now, on the final, we give you the fuel. So when you come to the final event, all the classes, except for shifters, you come with an empty fuel tank. That means empty, that means nothing. I don't want to see anything. It's empty. You come in an empty fuel tank, and you go to the parts department and you buy a voucher of pre-mixed fuel, as many gallons as you want. 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, 2.5 gallons, whatever you want. When you get the grid, you come early, and you're gonna give the attendant the tickets, and he's gonna fill up your fuel in your tank. But again, your tank must be completely empty. There have been a lot of cheating of fuel, and this eliminates the final race, which is the most important race. This is the podium race of people cheating with fuel. So we're doing this not because we want to, it's an expense for us, but it's to make as fair as we can with the racing. During the heat races and the final, if you finish top 4, you must bring tools to tech. You are going to be teched, and you are going to need tools. So there's only 1 person allowed in the tech area, the driver and plus 1 person, a mechanic, whatever, and you need tools. So if you have a special engine mechanic, when the engine mechanic comes in to do your tech, you, the mechanic, must leave. So you guys are going to take tech. So there's only 1 person there per kart. And we want to see always the top 4 in tech. Why top 4? Because we tech top 3. The 4th driver is going to wait until the top 3 are fine. If the top 3 are not fine, we tech the top 4, we'll tech the 4th one as well. So bring your tools, and only 1 person comes to tech at all time. We're going to see, we put some tarps up. We're trying to avoid that fighting and the screaming in the scale area. So again, we went through some expenses, and we thought about it. How can we separate? When you come out of the track, the drivers are very heated, the father heated. So we're trying to separate and have everybody calm down. Those 5 minutes means a lot. So again, it was a suggestion from a driver, and we're trying to, again, do what you guys ask. Yeah. So when the racing is over, we like everybody to leave on Sunday with the trailers, so we can clean the parking lot, clean everything. We take extreme pride in cleanness. As you guys can see, the facility always is clean. We spend, again, a lot of money and time and energy to clean up the pits. So the more you guys can help us clean up after yourself in the pits, put everything together, makes it easier for us on Monday to clean up everything. And if you're gonna leave your trailer after Sunday night, make sure you get with the manager, with Victor, to tell him where, because now we have another parking lot that you can go and park your trailer. We want to see the parking lot completely clear on Sunday night, so we can clean everything on Monday. And it's much easier to clean a parking lot with nothing than if you have a lot of vehicles. So if you need to stay more, let us know. We for sure can accommodate you, but just not going to be in that parking lot. And for all the teams that are parking in the parking lot, I'll ask you for 2 things. So if you're a driver, tell your team, if you're working in the asphalt, you must put some kind of a tarp or a carpet underneath where you work on the go-karts. If you drop any fuel, any brake cleaner, or any oil in the new asphalt, it's destroying the asphalt. So by putting some kind of a tarp, everything that falls down on a tarp and doesn't destroy the asphalt. Please help me to conserve the asphalt. It was super expensive for us to make the asphalt much nicer than before when it was dirt and you guys got all dirty. But we just spent, if you guys go around the new asphalt area, there's a lot of patches. I think we spent just now almost 20,000 in patches of things that fell down and that destroyed the asphalt. So I'm going to start being a little bit more critical about keeping the asphalt safe. And the teams, I also ask you that you take all your trash and bring to the black big dumpster, all your spare tires, all your spare tarps and everything. So once you leave, don't leave a big pile of things by the trash can. Take everything that you use the teams, take it to the big black dumpster, just throw inside. It makes it a lot easier for me tomorrow, Monday morning to clean everything. By the way, I also clean on Monday morning. So when you guys are not there, we're cleaning. And, and I hope you guys have a great race, a safe race, a fun race. We are here to help you to have fun, to teach you as much as we can. So you guys, when you go to national events and bigger state events, you guys are ready. Hope we did a good job. So any questions, feel free to find us, find me, email, go to WhatsApp. We can do whatever to make this a more pleasurable experience for you, for your family, for your friends, for your mechanics, and whoever you decide to bring. I really appreciate your participation, and I hope you had a great race. I'll see you at the podium, and thank you very much.